Hello and welcome to Diamonds and Duds. I am Ivan.
And I am Charles.
Welcome to episode 44, Charles.
44, making that crawl to 50.
Making that crawl to 50. This episode is going to be Universal Soldier.
Universal Soldier, 1992. We'll get into that in a moment, but first we have something new.
We're trying something new. We have a new game.
Yeah.
If it works out well, we might do it ongoing or every once in a while here. The game is called Pitch It. We might do a logo here. Ignore what it says there. That was on the trial version for my brother and I to make sure it works out well.
Yep.
What this is going to be is we got 3 wheels here. We got an actor from the 80s and 90s. We got a job. And we got an antagonist. And what we're going to do is we're going to spin these 3 wheels. We're going to see what comes up. And Charles and I are going to have two minutes or so to pitch to an executive. And then you guys let us know how we did. If you would have, if you think that movie would have been a diamond or a dud for us.
Yeah, it has to be, we're pitching it in a sci-fi context.
In a sci-fi context. Let us know if you'd buy that. So let's spin these guys and see how we're doing here. So kind of work in progress. Let us know how we're doing.
Yep. So we're spinning these wheels here.
They're going to take a second to kick off.
Yeah.
All right, we got...
B. Arthur, a janitor is her job, and zombies. And you might be like, wait a second. Those of you that are not in their 40s or later, you might be like, who the fuck is B. Arthur? Well, okay, there's a classic show called The Golden Girls, which is still fucking amazing. But about basically a bunch of women who live in a retired women live in a house, and B. Arthur was the tall, basically she was the tall woman. So basically, B. Arthur, gray haired, middle aged. She was in other shows. She was in Maude. She was in Mary Tyler Moore. She had a really long career, but in the 80s, 90s, she was already like 50s or so, 40, 50.
Yeah. You would think.
Yeah.
The Golden Girls, Charles, were younger than us in the show. But what Mr. and Mrs. Executive, we pitched this to you. What we envision this movie to be is we have B. Arthur signed on to be. What the movie is going to be is her. She's going to be a janitor at this retirement home. She's not there quite yet, but something happens. Zombies attack everywhere.
Yeah. And you might be like, wait, why B. Arthur? Okay, we're capitalizing on this Golden Girls fan. We think she is the next big action hero. Forget Sigourney Weaver and Aliens. Forget that. Arthur is...
Aliens is the big thing. We can capitalize on that right now.
This is Aliens with zombies. There's a zombie breakout, and she's a janitor. But not only is she a janitor, she's a space janitor. Okay, this is zombies on a space station, which she's going to be a space janitor in an old lady space station home. And maybe we even have a cameo by Estelle Harris.
Yes, if you're willing to get us the budget, we can do that.
Yeah, and so she's got, and we got, what's also big right now? The look Rambo, right? We got a plan. We got, by the end of the movie, she's going to have the red. Think about that. She's going to have the same, kind of outfit as you would expect in Golden Girl, but she's going to have the Rambo. The Rambo look. She's going to have a flaming. What kind of flaming weapon is she going to have in his face?
Actually, what I see, Charles?
Yeah.
You're thinking like a flaming bow or something.
Yeah.
No. I'm seeing the. I'm an idiot. I see a flaming mop.
Flaming mop. Yes.
Yes. I see a flaming. You would think counterproductive because it's a mop. It's fucking wet. Yeah. No, her mop is on fire.
Yeah.
And so,
and then the tagline. Okay, this summer, she's cleaning out the garbage. Yes. And And again, and so, people love zombies, people love Golden Girls, people love space, Rambo, Alien. There's no way this can miss.
No, I don't think it can miss either. And I think what we need to do is just spend shit tons of money on like what we do as we just what we do is we find we find like a hit pop star also from the 80s. We just spend all our money on that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MC. Oh no, I know. We'll either get MC Hammer or Vanilla Ice.
Yes.
One of the two, whoever we can get. And here's the thing. You know what also sells? Sex. So, and who oozes more sex appeal than B. Arthur?
MC Hammer and B. Arthur.
That exactly. And we're going to, and there's good. It's going to happen. This is a rated R movie, and we're gonna have a sex scene with B. Arthur and MC Hammer before the climactic battle scene, which she has to save his life. There's gonna be
this time it's real.
We'll call it a steamy. We'll call it a very steamy. She's gonna be a golden girl.
Did you say this time it's steamy?
Yeah, this time it's gonna be steamy. She's gonna be a steamy golden girl.
I thought you called it a steamy.
No, yeah.
All right. I think we did okay.
I'd watch it.
I'd probably watch it too, but I'm probably a little biased. Let us know in the comments what you think. Yeah. That was our first attempt. As you can probably tell, we did not prep for that whatsoever.
No,
we kind of went with whatever came up and went with what was in our head. So let us know what you thought. We just sort of were having fun with it.
Yep, I kind of like the fact that B. Arthur came up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was really funny that B. Arthur and zombies came up. So yeah. We're gonna go now to your regularly scheduled program of the Universal Soldier. This was directed by Roland Emmerich, Charles, who had many a hit later. Has done many movies in around post this time. This was one of his first big hits.
We covered one of his movies.
Yeah, the sequel to Independence Day.
Yeah, him and his brother, right?
Yep, Independence Day. He did Stargate, which the television series were one of my. He didn't do the television series, but he's of course credited with creating the characters and such.
Yeah.
He did the day after the day after tomorrow, or the whatever the name of that was. Tomorrow. He did the 10,000 BC. He did a whole bunch of that kind of stuff.
You know what? Did they do?
He did the what do you call it? The Broderick Godzilla. He did the Patriot, which I wasn't a huge fan of.
Yeah. Did they do Deep Impact?
I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah. Which is an underrated movie.
Yeah. Oh, one also thing to know, and along with one of their because their brother he did this one. But the writer-producer on a lot of stuff is Dean Devlin, including this. Dean Devlin, he was attached to Independence Day. I'm not sure how many of them, there's other stuff. But Dean Devlin was the creator and showrunner for a TV show we used to like.
Oh.
It got a reboot that went for a couple of years, minus a star who had some problems. I don't know if it's still going, but I know the reboot went a couple of years. Leverage.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Dean Devlin did Leverage. Which I guess there was a reboot with all the actors except Hutton, except the main. But I guess he had some issues, and it's kind of non-hireable. But yeah, so
the other thing I put down on here, Charles, too, and it's kind of fortuitous because we just spoiler alert for anybody who gives us a little watch here is we film these monthly episodes back to back. What was our budget on our last movie?
$25 million.
Do you know what our budget was in this one? I have this one.
No.
$23 million.
$23 million.
Do you know what our last movie made?
Made in theaters?
Yes.
I don't know, $12.
This movie made $95 million. I also have.
It also came out 4 years earlier.
I also have, Charles. This movie had 3 sequels.
Oh yeah.
The third one of which.
Well, actually, technically, there's a couple made-for-TV ones.
Oh, so it has more.
Yeah, at least one. Oh, two of them, the 2 made for TV became non-canon.
Because there was a sequel in '99, and then there's 2 sequels that have both Dolph Lundgren and Van Damme in it. The third one had a $9 million budget, Charles.
Yeah.
Guess how much that one made?
How much?
Guess. I want you to
$4 million.
Lower.
$1 million.
Lower.
100,000.
800,000. 840,000. Also, that was from the Google machine, so I don't take that with take that with. Also, it's the kind of thing where I don't know where that was released and how accurate to
I don't
Google
think any of them post the first one. Really
no.
Theaters.
It's also the kind of thing where when you when you're releasing, it's more about how good the product is and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And so just quick, so before going into this, I had not seen this movie when I was a kid. This was a big thing coming out. Dolph Lundgren, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Jerry Orbach has a small role in it.
Oh, there's another actor you should recognize.
Actress, from Sons of Anarchy.
Yep.
Agent Stahl.
Yep.
From Sons of Anarchy. But I never saw it. Wasn't that we weren't allowed to. I mean, we saw Terminator 2 in theaters, so I just never happened to see it. The only thing that I really knew about it was two of my friends and I, Joey and Alan. There was a number of times where we used to play pretend Universal Soldier, and so really the only thing about the plot that I knew was what is from remembering playing pretend with that. So I knew the very basics of soldiers that died, came back. Hey, they're gonna fight each other.
Yeah.
But here's the official line.
Okay.
Okay. Private Luke Devereaux and his sergeant got killed in Vietnam. The army hijacks their bodies for a secret project. However, their memories come back to Universal Soldier. And so yeah. So I had not seen this movie. I do think basically it's even has a slightly smaller budget, but now are there the same level of effects as the previous movie? No, but first of all, the effects are fine; they're well done. This also is a movie that in terms of acting, you don't really need this. It's supposed to be.
It knows what it is.
Yeah,
which is crucial for movies like this. Is but. I will say it doesn't need It doesn't need great, overwhelming acting. But I will say, and we'll get into this, I think one of the actors in this, it might have been one of his better acted movies ever.
I agree. I'm wondering if we're thinking about the same person.
I'm thinking Dolph Lundgren.
Oh yes, yeah, absolutely. I wrote it down.
It's not, and I think Van Damme was fine.
We didn't need him to be.
No, and that's the thing. I think what I wrote down is I think Van Damme was fine in the same way, and I don't mean this as a slight to Arnie. I think Van Damme was fine in the same way that Arnie and for is great in the Terminator. Yeah. Kind of for most
hardly speaks.
What's that?
He hardly speaks.
Exactly. And I thought that, for example, we'll get into like that diner scene that Van Damme has. I thought the diner scene Van Damme has was insanely funny. I thought that was really well done.
Yes.
But like Dolph Lundgren is such an underrated actor. And if you look at his filmography, it's not like most actors. Like they like we talked in our previous one about what's his name, Stephen Dorff, and how he had to kind of build up to get to the higher roles. Dolph Lundgren didn't have that ability. Like Masters of the Universe was like his first fucking movie, kind of thing. And it's like he got which is good for him. He got thrust into it, but like you also then have to hit the ground running.
Yeah, and you can also tell. Okay, so his Dolph Lundgren's kind of early breakout movies were Masters of the Universe and Rocky 4.
Yeah.
Right. This is after both of those, and so one thing you can do, he had to be like insanely pumped for both of those films. However, he's not naturally that big. Like he's not Schwarzenegger. He wasn't a bodybuilder. I mean, if you don't know, like. He's literally like Dolph Lundgren's literally a rocket scientist.
Oh,
he's a rocket scientist.
Which
in
is
the Expendables, they make jokes about that. But like, so he's a lot slimmer, toned down. I was just made a note just saying, hey, yeah, it's clear that like, okay, so he enjoyed not having to spend like years in the gym. It's more of a natural look. And again, I agree. I thought Dolph Lundgren was quite entertaining in this movie. There's not a whole lot of movies that I've scene of his where I'd say his acting was good. Sometimes it's like Rocky 4, he hardly speaks, but he's fine. Like it's not good, but it's nothing bad. He does a job. Obviously, we've talked Master of the Universe, and I thought it was horrible. That being said, like there's other times like
that was
Creed
also
2.
But also like also like his first.
Yeah, but like Creed 2, he doesn't have a ton of lines, but he's very good in Creed 2.
Yeah,
he's very good as Dolph, as Ivan Drago. So I agree, he does have a talent, and here. I think he knows the assignment. He chews up the scenery. He plays a really good villain, really fun villain in this.
But also like. What I think that the thing I wrote a couple times here is that I think Roland Emmerich does a really good job, kind of underneath, because he knew he couldn't like bring this really to the forefront because the purpose of this was to be like a fun
Yeah.
actiony movie. But I think the underlying thing in this movie also was to kind of tell a story about PTSD.
Yeah.
It really is, because you see how war affects these guys and how bluntly it drove Dolph Lundgren's character crazy.
Yeah.
And to a lesser extent, Van Damme's character wasn't, obviously he wasn't driven to the, extent that Dolph Lundgren was, but Van Damme's character wasn't okay.
Yeah.
Either.
No. So we start off in Vietnam, 1969. And so basically they're, we find out that Dolph Lundgren's a sergeant, head of the platoon, and basically he's killed everybody in this village, killed most of the platoon, and he's making a necklace of ears, which was creepy and cool. Well, that was a cool idea. That wasn't initially in the script. That was added. I forget if it was Dolph Lundgren or Emmerich that added. I think it might have been Dolph that had like read about it or something like that as that being a thing.
And bluntly, without that, I don't know how that changes how that character's treated so much.
Yeah, especially because you're spending so little time in Vietnam by necessity.
Yep.
Just that visual that kind of drives home the point of just how crazy he is. He execute the last couple people in front of Van Damme, and then basically they fight a little bit. It's not an extended fight scene, but they kill each other.
Exactly, they kill each other, and part of me, because I didn't see this in theaters or anything like that. I would have been, probably 13 roughly at the time. There's no way in hell I would have been watching this in theaters.
Yeah.
But part of me wonders if that was a surprise to the audience at the time to have the two main characters die like that immediately in theater, because obviously you knew they were coming back. But
yeah, and so like basically like the military people are like, hey, oh guy, how are we gonna spin this? It's like, no, we're not. Basically, they're MIA. It's like, hey, we're signing them up for the program. And here's the one thing that's, considering everything else in the movie ends up being explained to my satisfaction.
Yeah.
Especially considering it's a B movie, they don't. But this is the one thing that I don't get. It's not enough. It's not enough to derail the whole thing. This is 1969. The bulk of the movie takes place in present day in 1992. They don't. I think they could have explained just a little bit more without really a little bit more how those bodies maintained their youth from 69 to 92. Is it the biggest deal in the world? No, because I thought they did a fine enough job explaining everything else in the movie. It's just, okay, well, that's one thing they didn't explain, but they explain the bulk of things.
I think there's a reason for that. You know what the reason is? They had no idea.
Yeah, and that's considering they did fine with everything else. So
my guess is that the reason why they didn't do that is because Roland Emmerich realized whatever decision they made there, they would have had to place at this point in the movie.
Yeah.
And it would have derailed things or made things look cheesy.
I agree.
That is and I don't know that for a fact. I didn't read that anywhere, but that's my guess.
And also, I mean, I'm also again guessing they also didn't want to go too overtly futuristic sciencey with things, because a lot of their explanations are, I mean, they're science fiction-y, they're not real, but it's not like space age, probably also like they didn't want to go the route of like, oh, some futuristic cybernetic,
no. They didn't want this to be RoboCop.
Yeah.
I think they also wanted to get these guys, they wanted to get to the cool shit. They wanted to get them to the present day. They wanted to set up that Van Damme and Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren had this personal experience. Yeah. Now, the other thing I would have liked seeing back in the Vietnam era is I would have liked seeing the two main other guys in Vietnam also. I would have liked seeing the guy from Gladiator and Tiny Zeus
Yeah.
I would have liked seeing the two of them. Maybe.
Yeah. I would like at least their bodies.
Yeah, at least their bodies or something somewhere.
Yeah, because all these guys, they were what made up the.
Exactly.
It's all the guys, the people, all the Universal soldiers are from like we're led to believe are from this.
And the guys I'm referencing, they're the other two main Universal soldiers. One of the guys was famously Russell Crowe's right-hand man in the movie Gladiator. The other one is famously known as Tiny Zeus Lester, I think his name is, in a whole bunch of different movies.
He's Friday. First two
one
Fridays. He also was a nemesis of Hulk Hogan in Hulk Hogan's first movie. What was it? I forget the first horrible movie that Hulk Hogan made.
First of many.
He was like, and they brought him into the WWE, but like he didn't know how to wrestle. All he could do at kind of half clothes, I think. But anyways, so we now then fast forward to 92, where there's a hostage situation at the Hoover Dam, and that they're in the process of executing hostages. We see a large backup as a result of this, and so. Okay, fun fact, especially for those of you that have not been in Nevada, not made the trip. Nowadays, if you drive, say, from Arizona to Vegas, you never even see the Hoover Dam.
Yeah.
But they show a backup in the movie, but backup cars. That was a real backup that was from them filming at the Hoover Dam. At the time, if you were coming south into Vegas, you had one route, and that was over the Hoover Dam. And sometimes it was not too bad getting through it, and sometimes if there was like something going on in the Hoover Dam, you were waiting 5 hours.
Didn't you drive over the Hoover Dam?
Yeah.
Was it a 9/11 thing that they went around that, or was it just
they
realized it was silly to make.
They were just building a bridge, and that bridge just took at least 10, 15 years. Right. Nowadays, you bypass it completely. But yeah, the time now, and so like they drop them off, and this is kind of one of those things like, just like they drop them off. I didn't give the minutiae of math, but I did the math a little bit on this. So 13 minutes. They have 13 minutes.
They have basically the what do you call it? The bad guy said we're going to shoot the hostages in 13 minutes, or before. I'm assuming before money comes.
Okay, they drop them off in the water about a mile and a half. They say a mile and a half.
So they have 13 minutes to go a mile and a half and kill the.
Oh no, not just that. Because remember, mile and a half, and then get in because the water's like that. Okay, so I looked up a little bit of information here. Okay, so the fastest mile times your fastest mile times swimming are rough. It's going to be roughly 5 minutes. That's fastest in the world. About 4 to 5 minutes. In the 4 to 5 minutes, that's a world record times. And so
they wouldn't have beat that.
And so about 7, which means like 7 at the very least. Going by, even if they're hitting world record times, it's 8 minutes. There's 8 minutes in the water, and so then they got to get in the actual Hoover Dam and everything. What this means, in order to make it work, what this means is their speed in the water had to have been close to Aquaman level.
So you're saying is they probably should have said like 20 minutes, or they should have said like, "Hey, I dropped them closer."
No, I think they were actually trying to prove something. I think they just went a little, because I think they were trying to show something. I think they just should have adjusted their numbers just a little bit. That's why, like, I'm not going to crucify them over this, because what they're trying to show, these Universal soldiers are enhanced. They're kind of like they're super powered. So I think like they're trying to showcase that. I think they went a little overboard with that, but that's one thing I'm not going to give much credit. It's just kind of funny. It's kind of funny when you dig down into like, well, okay, look at the number like this. Like, that's like Aquaman, Well,
because if you also figure once they get through that swim, they also sprint up the.
Yeah, exactly. They sprint up. So again, they're trying to showcase that they are enhanced. These aren't just in shape humans. They're now essentially superhuman.
And bluntly, we joke, but the scene does its job in explaining the purpose.
Yeah. And so, oh, by the way, going back, on the double death scene. Early Vietnam, I just made a note. The acting by both of them on that double death scene was really bad. But like, but yeah, so then it shows them, basically taking out all the, the rest of the team, taking out all the bad guys. There's, we see one get shot a couple times, but we see him still awake, so bullets don't necessarily put these people down.
Yeah.
But then we see at a point, there's a couple Asian
there was a couple Asian people tied up as part of the hostages, and you see Van Damme's character starting to have some flashbacks.
Yeah, starting to trigger some memories. But then the rest of the mission goes without issue.
The one part I had not an issue with, but I thought was kind of funny. Nothing to do with the Universal Soldiers themselves, but with the hostage takers. Because they had hostages in the Hoover Dam.
Yeah.
Okay. And they had the hostages in the Hoover Dam. And the Hoover Dam, I'm assuming this is the actual Hoover Dam or something like it. But the Hoover Dam has this little patio.
Okay?
Yeah. Why was there a bad guy on the patio?
That's a good question.
Because there's sort of just a guy on the patio there to take a sniper shot. It seems like his job there was to take a sniper shot.
Was to get sniped. Well,
because I can't imagine, because he didn't have a gun. Because he didn't have a gun, and I can't imagine what his job was. Because the other side of the water was so fucking far away, he couldn't see anything.
Yeah. His job was to die.
His job was, okay, if that guy dies...
We don't like him.
Yeah. Hey, if he dies, that's one less, when they give us the money.
Yeah, that's like, the hostage taker's like, yeah, sorry, guys, my wife made me bring him. We'll put him up on the patio. He'll get sniped, and, two problems solved all around.
Exactly.
And so we also get introduced at this time to our female lead, Agent Stahl from Sons of Anarchy. She's a reporter who gets fired.
You can tell when this was filmed because she smokes like a goddamn chimney this entire movie.
Yes, she smokes like a chimney, and she's basically like, you can tell she's on the hunt for information about this Universal Soldier program that's now has 3 successes, and they all go back to home base and. All the soldiers get put on ice.
Yeah, soldiers get put. You see the soldiers put on ice. They're basically put in lazy boys and lean back and get medicine put in them. And then was it Agent? I'll probably keep calling her Agent Stahl. I'll call her Agent Stahl or the reporter.
Yeah,
the reporter and her cameraman go to try and find stuff to get the Agent Stahl unfired. I don't know why the cameraman went because he didn't get fired, but yeah.
Yeah, by the way, early on, I forgot to mention there's one other person. This is still in the Vietnam. Mm-hmm. This is the only time he's seen because he's one of the military people. I think he's even the one he's the guy that's like, who doesn't say like he's the guy like, hey, so like, oh man, this is gonna be, if you remember the program.
Oh yeah.
The linebacker. The star defensive player that jacks up his knee. Yeah. Like, oh hey, that guy in a non-football movie. Yeah. So, he was in that, and so now, but Agent Stahl and the poor cameraman or whatever, they're at the military base because she's gonna break into a military installation.
Yeah, that goes well.
Yeah. And try to get some information, and so again we see, and she learns that so there's a guy that shot a bunch of times. He's on ice, and she sees him
because she sees one of the scientists looking over a body that's been shot a bunch, and so she thinks, hey, I'm gonna go look at I'm gonna go sneak onto the military base because sometimes there's a reason the doctor or something would be looking at someone who's been shot.
Yeah, and she sees the guy heal up, and she got pictures, and then she gets gets active to the base, they sent the soldier that she's like, all right, she starts to drive, she's going to drive out something. Oh, okay, we're going to have a chase scene. No, she immediately crashes.
Well, yeah, because she immediately crashes, and then they immediately fucking murder the cameraman.
Yeah.
She basically gets the fucking cameraman shot.
Yeah, and it's a key element of the movie. Dolph Lundgren murders the cameraman. He did not have order. They ordered them to get to get the two of them, but they were not. They had not ordered him to kill. That's one thing that surprised. Like, whoa, he killed an he killed an innocent.
Mm-hmm.
He's not supposed to do that. And then that's where like Van Damme.
That's when he started kind of coming undone, because Van Damme started coming undone with the what he call it, when he started seeing that the two Asian people, he stopped following orders. And then when Dolph Lundgren stopped following orders, when he killed the camera.
Yeah, and really when he saw Dolph Lundgren execute the camera, he made it like kind of flash him back. He goes, saves the lady. He starts driving away, but he still has a thing on. And I think it's kind of funny when they tell him to stop. So because again, even though he's starting to remember a little, but very much in some ways throughout most of this movie, Van Damme is a child. One of the things why I'm kind of glad there was no romance developed. That would have been kind of weird. But he stops. She's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And then she eventually takes the thing, throws it out, and then he does.
And that's why I say, I thought the acting parts that Van Damme did in this, I thought he did very well.
Yeah, I think what the director did is the director he limited the amount of times that Van Damme was speaking, because Van Damme's speaking rarely goes well. Yeah. And so when they
because didn't Van Damme do the speaking like a really, really good acting piece later on in his career?
Not that I know.
I thought he did. I'll look that up later.
But because him speaking generally does not go well, and also when he spoke, they had him speak really quietly.
Yes, absolutely.
And so. And and that worked well for the role. So after they're gone, so they're talking about some of the science guys and this is one thing I actually kind of had a big problem with the movie. The science guys he killed me, so we got to shut this whole program down. Moral obligation to tell. And this next part, I'm like, it's like the Pentagon, the Pentagon doesn't even know about this. We're all gonna. I'm like, okay. So they're saying they said that this isn't even an off book, like a secret program back book. They're saying this is this completely self-funded? This program has obviously been going since the 60s.
Well,
where is the money been coming if the military does not know about this?
Yeah. See, I did some math, Charles.
Yeah.
See, because you're thinking, God, that's so long.
I mean, 22 years.
Well, see,
22, 23.
Well, how long ago is 22 years now?
About 2000. Yeah, but still, where'd they get the funding for it? It is crazy to think about the fact that yes.
When we were kids in 1992, 1969 seemed like it was 75 years ago.
Yeah. But if the Pentagon didn't know about this, where'd the funding?
The movie I was thinking of was called JCVD.
Oh yeah, moves.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either, but that's widely considered he played a fictional version of himself.
Oh, well, he can play himself.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, Van Damme, they get to a little motel.
Yeah, a little motel.
Because he's got to get cool off. He's gotten shot. He's heating up. He's got a little wrist thing there.
Has a little wrist thing, but this is also another point where I think the director here, the movie Roland Emmerich, realized that movies like this, you need to insert some comedic aspects to it, and that's what this motel, I think, scene was really also for. Was is that you had him, he needs to cool off, and you also realize, like you said, Van Damme's kind of a dumbass.
Yeah,
is that Agent Stahl's really gonna have to fucking carry him?
Yes, and at one point, Van Damme gets naked and starts walking towards the front door, and the mom or grandma, whatever, the person running, she's all smirking at it. I thought so that was kind of funny. The reporter, she's trying to get access to a phone. Nothing's working. Let me tell you, because we get the sense Van Damme has a tracker. In him, and they get to the motel, and we have our next big action piece. I enjoyed the action piece. There's one aspect I'm like, okay. Doesn't necessarily mesh with what you said a few minutes ago, but again, it's a movie. A few minutes ago in the scene, they're like, we have to make sure no innocence. get her. 2, we gotta. This has to stay off books. They can't know about this, and they just launch an all-out assault on the motel and starts blowing it away. They're blowing civilians away. Again. Does it detract from the movie? No, it's more. This is just it's supposed to be a popcorn action movie. It's just kind of funny. Like you want to be like, yeah, no, we can't be killing innocents, and like we got to keep this under wraps, and they just fucking blow away a motel.
Yes, and I also thought it was fun. Did you catch that the cameraman's death was already on the news?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because when she goes into the when the reporter goes into the what do you call it, into the
reception area,
yeah, the cameraman's death was already in the news. Was already in the news, framing her for the death.
Oh, Jesus!
Or no, it was either framing. It might have been she was being framed later. Yeah. It was like some sort of like shootout or something where his death was being, which I thought, I'm like, oh god, that was fucking quick.
But anyway, and it's why they end again in the action scene. It's a funny thing because one that we see again, this kind of superhuman by design elements of Van Damme's character, where he's running through the walls until they get to the concrete one at the end, and she's like, "Go ahead," and Van Damme's like, "I can't go through that," and the way they hide.
That was funny. It's funny. The other thing I want to back up for a second, I thought was funny, was when they went to look for the, what do you call it,
the trackers later.
Oh, the trackers later.
Okay. The trackers in the next scene. We know they're being tracked.
Oh, we know they're being.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So yes, when they get out of here, Charles, the part that I find, then them getting out, and I thought it was funny that they found a bulletproof '57 Chevy.
Yeah, and the way they avoid the people is because earlier when they break in through walls, when there were a couple that were having sex, they literally hid. And again, is it realistic that they wouldn't be able to see too much? No, but it's funny because they're underneath, especially like Van Damme. Afterwards, you see like his gun pointing at them. Yeah, she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Those people are traumatized.
Yes, but they're not dead.
No, because apparently the government they don't care. The organization stopped caring if they kill people, but also they don't really care about closing, loose ends. If they do, so like, yeah, fuck it, They also got a mobile kind of command base. Yeah. That's following with them, so that the other government people can stay close by.
Yes.
And so, but then the next thing is they're kind of in the middle of the desert, and they stop off at kind of like a roadside.
Yeah, like some sort of roadside gas station.
Yeah, and this is the tracker scene.
This is the tracker scene where he pulls out a knife, he gets naked again, and says, "Look for something hard."
Yeah.
I got like high school chuckle out of that.
I think he mentioned at one point he looked down and said, "Is that supposed to be there?"
Yeah,
and she's like, "Yeah." Yeah, keep looking.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it was
Yeah, but then she got the tracker out. They get there, and we learn that again, the one thing, again, it's a small thing. It gets to be action movies. I don't have any issues with it, but ready supplies of massive amounts of ice are quite whenever needed in this movie. But they really found they have a kind of cool way that he sets them up. The trap.
Yeah, because he since they did, the Dolph Lundgren's group doesn't realize that the trackers have been taken out, so they kind of lure him into a spot with the tracker.
Yeah, and it has he put in the gas. The poor guy's livelihood's gone, but basically gasoline.
Yeah, he just used gasoline and basically blows the fuck out of it.
Yeah,
kills half the goddamn.
Yes, just leaves 3 left: Dolph, Tiny, and Gladiator Boy, and they both got charred.
Yeah, they both got charred.
Pretty bad. Especially because remember, heat is not good for for these guys, and then again they get away.
Yep.
But and then this is where Dolph really kind of overtake, because at this point they're like, yeah, just we're shutting it down. We're giving up. Basically, the word from the people in the van is like, we're giving up.
Yeah, they're like, hey, this is too much. We're fucked. If we don't just back out now, we're going to prison.
Yeah, so like we're gonna, but also like, no, because he's this is not.
It's now probably been a day or so since he started remembering shit, and so now he's really remembering shit, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah, so he kills.
He kills the head guy.
Yeah, kills the head guy. Leaves a couple of the more of the scientist guys left. He's kind of running stuff.
He's running shit now, and it's like, yeah. Is this where he makes the new ear set?
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes a new ear set, so good for him.
Yeah, he's got a collection going.
He has a new collection going.
Hobbies are important.
Yes.
They really are. And so me and Simon, like and then it shows that he as he's trying to he's having a really good luck fighting them, but he's like, there's one point where he stops, like it's like a bar or so, like outside of like biker bar, and then like the scientists also they try to shut him down.
Yeah, the two scientists try and shut him. They set up a plan basically to try and shut him down. But it's like because he like just like Van Damme does, he has to recharge every now and then.
Yeah,
and he goes into recharge, and they were going to basically do something to him while he was recharging. And he snuffs it out.
Yeah, because basically there's an injection that'll make him forget, but there's also a separate injection that boosts their capabilities even more. And he does take that. We see him take it a couple of times throughout the movie. And then on the Wallace, we get the diner scene, which you mentioned earlier. What happens in the diner scene? With Van Damme in the diner scene.
Because Van Damme's never eaten before.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't know how to eat. And so during the course of when they had blown up the gas station and shit, they had taken a bunch of like papers and stuff from that, so they now know what's going on.
Yeah.
And so Agent Stahl goes to like contact somebody, and so while she's there, she orders some food. She orders a special for her and for Van Damme. So Van Damme has to look at other people to see how they eat. Because okay, so this is, and he gets really really excited with how you eat.
Yeah.
And so then you go back to him later, and
it's got like 12 plates of food.
It's like 12 plates of food. And so after like plate 12, they're like, "How are you going to pay for this?" Which is a bit late, but
I don't know.
And the chef comes out. And he's like, I don't, and the chef gets mad, and for some reason, I don't know why chef gives a shit.
I'm assuming he's also the owner.
Yeah, I would assume he's the owner.
Is what I'm assuming.
Let's assume he's the owner, but yeah, he gets mad. He's like, dude, I've been making all that crap. Yeah, at least pay me. And Van Damme's like, I don't want to hurt you. And it's
if it's not the owner, policy is that it comes out of their paychecks.
Yeah,
that they pay for.
And so
back in those days.
And so Van Damme basically kicks the shit out of him really fast because he's Van Damme.
Yeah,
and so it becomes an old school like bar fight because for some reason everybody else is like, hey, that small guy just beat the shit out of that really big chef. So hey, let's all start jumping Van Damme for some reason. And so then Van Damme starts beating everybody up and smiling while he's doing it. It's really funny.
Yeah, and so the genesis of this scene, the rationale is we need a scene in the movie where Van Damme does a whole bunch of martial arts shit.
Yes.
Because a lot of the time, like he's more robotic, he's not gonna have a chance or other. So I'm like, we need a scene where he gets to pull off all his Van Damme martial arts stuff to a whole bunch of people, but let's make it unique and funny, which they did a great job. It was a great scene. And then, like, the funny is, like, she comes back and the bars, like, she sees all those plates, the bars, like, the diner's like destroyed.
Oh god,
he's just like smiling, like,
The other thing that brought me back, Charles, though, with the diner scene, you know what else brought me back, and this is going to really date your brother Ivan, Charles, is that what else brought me back? You know what they were doing in the diner? Smoking.
Oh yeah.
When your brother first got his first, my first job was at Abco Foods.
But the second at Olive Garden.
But the second, you know what they had at Olive Garden? They had a smoking section at Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Because I was a busser at Olive Garden, because fuck being a server. I made more as a busser than the servers did. But there was a smoking section at Olive Garden where it was just sort of a magical section where if you could have a table on the other side of the smoking section where someone in the smoking section could be from like you to me.
Yep.
And like, hey, you're smoking like a chimney, but like I'm not. And like, hey, fuck me.
Exactly. Yeah.
and it was, that wasn't healthy.
Yep, it was a different time.
It was nuts. And
Yeah.
I was telling you as we went to get some dinner before we started here. The other thing old Ivan had when he first started high, and this is also going to date me, is that when I started high school, you know what else they had, Charles?
What's that?
They had a smoking patio for seniors.
Wow. This is nuts.
Which you had to. It's okay. You had to be 18. I don't know if they checked. Knowing high schools, I doubt they did.
Well, I know when I was there a couple years later, that was obviously gone. But the word was, again, I didn't smoke in high school, but the word was the auto shop teacher would hook. Basically, you can go and he let you smoke in there. And my understanding was that IDs were not always taken.
Yeah.
There.
All I remember is that there was literally like, hey, if you're a senior, you go here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The good old days.
Yeah, and so what she called is basically she found out like basically the information, like basically the doctor that did this procedure, Jerry Orbach, he played, detective for many years in the regular Law and Order. Basically, and they're gonna go there basically because to this point I'm taking a lot of faith, but at some point I want to get some answers. And we get enough answers. We've learned that they run hot, their bodies run hot, or they'll stroke out. That's what the ice is for. And they say some little, when you talk to Jerry, they say some little techno babble basically about how they revive enough to completely satisfy me. And he talks about how the memories of there's traumatic memories at death.
Yeah.
Van Damme wanted to go home. Dolph Lundgren wanted to kill everybody, and so that's kind of because Van Damme wants to go home. He wants to go home to his parents.
Exactly. Yeah. So and then it does a quick flashback, and the scientist that's left, because when the two scientists tried to fuck over Dolph, he kills one of them.
Yeah.
The other scientist fucks over Gladiator guy.
Yeah.
And he says, hey, Dolph wants you to hold this grenade. And so he pulls the pin and tries to kill him and Zeus.
Yeah. And so, and that leads to the funny scene where in the grocery store. Where,
in Bashas'.
Dolph, it was Bashas'.
Yeah.
Where, oh God, they were in Arizona then.
I think it was. I think it's supposed to be Nevada, but it was probably
but where he drags him into the store.
He drags him into the store, goes to some poor little, probably like fucking 16-year-old kid. Where's your freezer?
Yeah. And so basically they get to, and then he catches up to him. Not really sure, but eventually he catches up, and we have a kind of a cool kind of road in the desert.
Yes, and before that, one thing I thought was interesting was that Van Damme keeps trying to get the reporter to just leave to L.A.
Yeah.
But which I thought was funny, because you just had the reporter was on TV for being wanted for murder.
Yeah,
because
it's not gonna help.
I'm like, it's not gonna help, because she's wanted. This isn't like the 20s where it's like you can just sort of go the next state over and they're not gonna know.
Yeah, and and with this, this part,
but also Van Damme's kind of an idiot. So.
Yeah, the action set piece in the desert with the chase.
Oh, I like that.
I like it, but there's right before it, and maybe I missed something, but there's a plot hole.
There's probably a plot.
It's
a rolling. I like rolling over.
Before there's a plot hole as big as a Grand Canyon.
He did the sequel to Independence Day. There's probably a plot hole.
A plot hole as big as a Grand Canyon. They're not in their own car. They're in custody. Remember, the police, there's several police cars. They're driving, they're taking them in custody. Unless I missed something, we saw absolutely nothing with the police leading up to it all. Because the scene before them with them was like you described. It was like the bus. And the next scene we see, because then I think it cuts to Dolph Lundgren in the supermarket and stuff like that. And also the Gladiator guy getting fucked up and that stuff. And then we see it's Dolph Lundgren in the mobile tank kind of thing, catching up to the police convoy that has the two of them in custody.
Yeah.
How did they get in cuffs? How did they get arrested?
Oh, there's a part you missed. There's
Like I said, it's possible I missed something.
there's a part where you absolutely missed something. There's a part where, because I remember specifically Stahl putting her arms up and getting arrested.
So
I forget because there's a part where Van Damme goes to drive. I forget the knowing this. There's probably they probably missed something, but there was a part where like Van Damme thought she was gonna go, and they probably should have just arrested him, but she got arrested with him.
Oh, because I remember like the bus pulling away and she was still there. Okay, I didn't catch the police arrested them.
The police arrested them there.
I mean, like I said, plot hole, or I missed something, so I missed something. Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm like, that's a pretty goddamn big thing.
But they also spent 30 seconds on the cops arresting him there. So.
As long as they show that, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I have zero issues whatsoever.
And also, one of my favorite scenes in a B movie like this ever is Dolph Lundgren driving that giant truck at them.
Yeah.
I absolutely fucking love that.
Yeah, and so
but also the part that I wrote down also, just to go back a little bit to Dolph and Bashes there. Yeah. I absolutely love that because that's the part that I love for Dolph's acting, because it really shows his PTSD.
Oh yeah.
That's the part of his acting I love.
Yes,
it really shows his PTSD.
Yeah, and so like, it's funny. They're in this. So funny that they're in this big. They're in the cop. They get free from the cops or whatever. The things cool actions. He's like, you got to jump out, and like the car's going like 60, and he makes her jump out. I'm like, yeah, she would have been dead. Yeah. And not only that, but it's nothing when we moved to that. She would have been dead, and her body would not, like in D&D. That's not a revivable body. That the body would not have been intact. But it's fun. And so
that's one of those things in D&D where they're like, hey, roll for it, and even if you're rolling that 20, that like the DM's like, yeah, dude, you still didn't fucking make it.
He's like true resurrection. And so at the end of the truck, Command Center ends up going over the cliff and exploding, and think, okay, they think, okay, it's all done,
and then you're like, hey, there's 30 minutes to move.
Yeah. So they go to. After this, they go to Jerry. That's when they go to Jerry Orbach's briefly.
Yeah.
And then they go to home. They go to Van Damme's parents' house.
Yeah. And but is it before this when, like, for some reason, Agent Stahl attacks a cop? Because remember, they get the cop car.
That was during the scene.
Yeah.
That was after he took them out. That's how they got uncuffed, and they were able to then be driving instead of in the back.
Yeah.
Because the cops like, what the hell is going on? Basically, yeah. And so,
don't worry, I had brothers.
Yeah, and so they get to the house, which is kind of setting up, the big
setting up the final finale fight scene, which is meant to be very very similar to the initial fight scene between Van Damme and Lundgren in the beginning.
Yeah.
Sets up a bunch of stuff. I think you're supposed to have Stahl die, but she does, like, they both have a grenade.
Fake out,
fake out, which is fine, but
and ends
kind of
up
cheesy. But
and they end up, sit in the bar and eventually they end up killing Dolph.
Yep.
And so all's well. Now, here's the thing: that's not the original ending.
Oh, what was the original ending?
The original ending was filmed. It tested where the audience thought it fucking sucked. And so they refilmed. In the ending, in the original ending, there was very little fighting between Dolph and Van Damme. There's a little, but there was not much.
What was the ending?
One, the parents were fake. The parents turned out this was all a ruse. Everything was all a ruse to get like Devereaux. Stahl was killed. Devereaux was killed.
Which one's Devereaux?
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Okay.
All the good guys die. So all the good guys died. Jerry Orbach comes back in like, yep, these are my agents here. They're not your parents. Everything was fake. This is all basically a room.
That's fun.
Pop. I know Devereaux gets shot. Maybe he might have survived, but it's basically the audience saw, Jesus Christ, this is a fucking downer ending. We hate this. So they went back, did some reshoots, all the barn stuff that they filmed that pretty much from that onward ending, and then audiences like that a lot better.
Oh yeah,
the audiences wanted a happy ending. They're like, we don't want a fucking downer ending.
Well, even if it's dead, like that's
it
ruins the entire rest of it.
Yeah, and so that was the original. That was the original.
So what's our?
All right, so we have two rating scales. We have a diamond and we have a ditz. Diamond it's a legitimately good film. It can go from 0 to 5. 0 being, I mean, if it's good, but I'm never gonna revisit again. 5 being it's a masterpiece. Dud, it's a bad movie. But again, there's levels. 0, it's just unwatchable. 5, all the way 5 as it gets higher. And it's so bad it's good, guilty pleasures, that kind of thing. So where do you land, Evan?
I land on the diamond scale.
Okay.
I have this as a diamond of a 2.
Okay, we actually land exactly the same spot. It's a diamond. It's a fun enough action movie. Will I revisit it? No, because I don't like Van Damme in general.
No.
There's very few movies that I tolerate him in. Expendables 2 being the only one, really.
Yeah.
But the movie's fun. It's good. Emmerich did a good job. It's probably, like I said, it's probably Dolph's Dolph's best film. And I think they're taking advantage. He doesn't have a wide range of acting, but he does a really good job here.
It makes me want to watch I Come in Peace. I wonder if
maybe.
So what are we gonna watch next, Charles?
All right. So next we got a we saw somebody, not somebody we know.
The two of us and our sister went, like a lot of people, went and watched the most recent Jackass movie. And to prepare for that, I watched a whole shit ton of interviews and stuff with Knoxville.
Yeah.
And he mentioned, I forget where he mentioned one of the things. He mentioned a movie called Samurai Cop.
Yep. So Samurai Cop is going to be the next one we watch.
Yep. Can't wait. It looks awesome.
Yep. So check us out on all the things, the TikToks, the Instagrams, the stuff. And you know what to do.
Yep. We will see you in the next one.
Have a good one.
Bye.